Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodiji Makinde. Happy International Women's Day. Let's start with security matters. President Bola Tinubu has condemned what he described as heinous incidents of abduction involving very vulnerable victims, internally displaced persons in Borno State and students in Kaduna State. Consequently, the president directed security and intelligence agencies to immediately rescue the victims and ensure that justice is served against the perpetrators of these abominable acts. In a statement by the presidential advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, the president said he has received briefing from security chiefs on the two incidents and he is confident that the victims will be rescued. He sympathizes with the families of the victims, assuring them that they would soon be reunited with their loved ones. In a related development, security agencies in Kaduna State have intensified surveillance, deploying more personnel on ground to track down the bandits responsible for the abduction of pupils at Kuriga village during a morning assembly. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports that the state's governor, Uba Sani, who visited the affected school, assured the parents of government's commitment to ensure their missing children return home safe.
This is the situation at Kuriga village along Kaduna-Birnungwari Road after the school raid, which many pupils are taken hostage by the bandits who stormed the school during morning assembly. It's not clear how many children have been abducted from the school, but security agencies have been deployed to the area to rescue the missing children. The Kaduna Governor Obasani is here for on-the-spot assessment and to hear directly from the parents of the victims.
I'm going to work with the community leaders. I want to work with the traditional leaders here, as well as the youth, to ensure that every child return back home by the grace of God.
At the time of filing in this report, about 25 students have escaped from the hands of the kidnappers, while security agencies are making efforts to rescue the remaining children still missing. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajinki, NTA News.
Now let's move on from security matters and tell you that President Bola Tinubu celebrates the pivot of the nation, the Nigerian women, on the occasion of this year's International Women's Day. President Tinubu acknowledges the role of women in nation building, emphasizing that no doubt Nigerian women are instrumental to the development, growth and greatness of the nation. The president affirms that in every field of human endeavor, the achievements of Nigerian women have become a testament to the resilience, strength, courage and ingenuity of all women across the world, as well as a mark of their exceptional quality as emissaries of hope and possibilities. President Tinubu notes that the theme of this year's International Women's Day, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, fits well within his administration's policy initiatives on educating and empowering women, not only through inclusion in governance, but also by ensuring that they remain relevant and unimpeachable voices in the development process across all sectors of the economy. The president states that his administration is focused on providing investment in educating the girl child while fostering inclusive programs and initiatives that bolster their active roles in the areas of knowledge, science, technology, research and innovation into the future. The federal government has unveiled the Nigeria for Women program, comprising different products designed to uplift the living standards of Nigerian women, even at the grassroots. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation at the unveiling ceremony, reaffirmed his commitment to issues affecting women. Ngozi Technical reports.
The enormous potentials of Nigerian women is being celebrated with a pledge to create enabling environment for them, in addition to the much desired socio-economic empowerment to enable them traverse various sectors for the overall growth of the nation. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, applauded the efforts and resilience of the Ministry of Women Affairs in empowering women in the rural communities.
The federal government is actively working to ensure that programs designed for Nigerian women are impactful and accessible to the intended beneficiaries. I'm gladdened by the use of technology in dispensing sustainable development for our women.
So as we speak, we have gotten so many machines because what we are interested now more is economic and sustainable development and machines to enable women's sufferings come down a little bit, to be reduced, and they will make money with less suffering. So policymakers need to acknowledge and account for the significant contributions women make to economies globally through both paid and unpaid care work.
Other stakeholders, including development partners and traditional rulers, agreed to support the issue of the girl-child education and also curb other cultural practices militating against women.
We must educate women. We must support women in whatever they're going to do. So our presence here is to show our total backing of these programs.
You have a lot of political networks that you can actually connect and network very well to disperse all these programs that you want to actually give to our mothers.
Following the inauguration of the Integrity Brigade, the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohanenye, says Nigerian women are now in for better days. Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says investing in women would spark change and facilitate smooth transition to a healthier, safer and equal society. This was his message at the internally displaced persons camp, Durumi, Abuja, as part of activities to mark International Women's Day. Ian John has the details.
Nigerian women play a critical role in the stability, progress and development of the country. Hence, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is committed to promoting gender equality and improving the conditions of disadvantaged women through social intervention programs. The Senate President, represented by his Special Advisor, Special Duties, Engineer Ikechukwu Ugwegede, visited the IDP camp in Durumi, Abuja, to sensitize women as well as distribute palliatives.
We need to encourage them. As they were displaced, they need to go back to their homes. And even when they are not going back to their home, we must make them comfortable.
And he keeps promising that even now as a Senate President, every legislation on women, that he will make sure that is taken to the last bit.
All vices that promote exclusion should be done away with, like child marriage.
Routine immunization, including HPV, was administered on children. Meanwhile, the federal government is sustaining interventions to empower women as Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, celebrates Women's Day with the unveiling of new brand for job creation and rural industrialization, targeting women as major beneficiaries.
First, we're democratizing access to finance for women, all the women-owned entrepreneurs.
Similarly, wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Egbetukun, empowers about 300 widows of police officers and men who paid the supreme price in the line of duty with startups as she celebrates International Women's Day with them.
Let us all continue to extend our hands to women in need and pledge our support to those who never give up despite facing countless challenges.
In Abuja, Ian Ray, John, NTA News.
Today marks another milestone in the calendar of the female gender, an opportunity to assess their gains and pains with a view to exploring new ways and techniques of improving their livelihood generally. Momso Damien Dati has the special report on the journey for Nigerian women so far as guide.
See a small child of 6 years old selling pure water, and it's not supposed to be so, and she's supposed to be in school learning. She's smart, she has brain. If they take her to school, she'll be a leader of tomorrow.
So I want to tell the government and tell every person to invest in children because they are not a waste of time.
Everyone should know that we should be given a chance. We're not saying we want to disrespect our elders, but we're saying we want to be heard as well. There will be no Thomas Jefferson if he was never a child.
Young girls today, but women tomorrow, and prospective leaders in the making. A display of these innovations produced through a collaboration of both male and female speak volumes to the kind of acceleration and development to expect when the society invests in the female gender.
When you talk about investing in women, for me, I think we need to invest more in the girl child. As we speak today in Nigeria, we have over 20,000 out-of-school children, and bulk of that number are girls. So it is a deficit in our development stride in this country. So when we want to talk about investment, we need to talk about investing in providing equal opportunity for women. And when we talk about the future generation, these are the people that we need to pay attention to.
The 8th of March annually provides women the world over a central platform to assess their performance and explore new strategies to surmount their challenges. This year's focus on the theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, many say is apt.
Economic empowerment, which this ministry, with the help and support of the directors of this ministry and the PAMSEC, we've been able to get a whole lot of economic empowerment machines, like garri making machines, cassava, rice, beans, corn, even bitter leaf, in such a way that women will not suffer so much anymore.
If you look at these exhibitions now, you see the creativity of all Nigerian women in different fields. All these are things that we normally import and we buy at a very high cost, while our women can even do better. We should invest in our women. Our women have all it takes.
The aim is to attain gender equality for all. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
And still on this special day, Plateau State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Caroline Planan Dafur, is asking women to sustain their struggle for their rights and all forms of discrimination against them. This was during a road walk to mark International Women's Day celebration. Priscilla Grumnam has details.
International Women's Day celebrates women's achievements and struggles for basic rights and freedom. The road walk attracted various women groups across the state to include National Council for Women's Societies and Gender Commission.
What we want the state to do for us is to empower women educationally, health-wise, economically.
International Women's Day is not just one day. It is every day for a woman, and it is every day for the Plateau woman. The Plateau woman is not a lazy woman.
Speaking on the theme for the year 2024, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, the State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Caroline Planan Dafur, underscores the need for women to be part of every meaningful development. Secretary to the government of the state, while addressing celebrants, charged them to be change agents even as they continue to contribute positively to national development.
I want you to be industrious, try to keep the peace and keep your wards and children away from crime and help them to take the right path.
The state government, he says, will continue to address challenges of women as they contribute to nation building. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
And still in Jos, Caleb Gotchin is standing by to give us an insight into the commemoration of this unique day. Good evening, Caleb. It's good to see you. Bring us up to speed. How are they celebrating over there in Jos?
Ayo Deji, it's good to see you. I tell you, it's an exciting day in Jos. Just to let you know that we just had some showers, and that is a sign of good things to come for the women of Jos, and not only Jos, but the women of Nigeria. And I tell you, those who know Plateau State know that the women are resilient, know that the women are hardworking, know that the women care for their families, and they can do anything to ensure that their families are good. So that is what is happening today. They came out to, yes, commemorate their day. They are asking for some few things, and I tell you, because of the resilience of the women of Plateau State, they are not asking for much, but let the relevant authorities give them something that will empower them to really come up, to do what they are good at doing. And the government, just to let you know that today, gave them a promise that yes, they are going to empower them in fishery and other agricultural, engagements, which I know it's a good news to all the women. And we are hoping that they will keep to their word and the women will really prove their mettle.
Men are already giving them the necessary support, but right there in Jos, Caleb, how much more of support do we expect to give women today, this year, as we move into another year?
Yes, I think the awareness has been created, and individuals and groups are getting more aware, although we're not seeing real much of that, but there are NGOs and other people that would want to really see the women progress. I think the household, it has to start from us, the men. And that's what we're doing today. Ayodeji, you are a man, I'm a man. We are a he for she. We are out for the women. And if every man will give the woman the necessary support, I tell you, the world will be a better place, not only for the women, but every human being that exists here. And Plateau people are really ready to give that support. And I think with that, the country will be a better place to live in.
Thanks so much, Caleb, for your time. It's been interesting conversing with you.
Thank you very much, Ayodeji. Let's give the necessary support. He for she.
The message is very clear. I'm also he for she. Just take a look. You know that already. Let's move on and tell you that professionalism, competence, sacrifice, and resilience have been identified as catalysts towards achieving nation building. These were part of takeaways at the investiture of the second national chairman of the Association of Women Town Planners of Nigeria, which held in Abuja. Francis Odojo brings us details.
The ceremony, graced by dignitaries including the former Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talon, came with several activities including citation, swearing in, presentation and investiture of the newly elected second national chairman of the Association of Women Town Planners in Nigeria, Rekiat Ahoiza Fache. The new chairman of the association sworn in the new executive committee members with the promise that her team will foster greater cooperation with development partners with a view to achieving the constructive transformational goal of the present administration in rural and urban development.
Our administration, which is backed on the constructive transformational goal, CTG, in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, has initiated a series of actionable plans aimed at repositioning the association with a view to promote mutual cooperation and common interest with some sisters, agencies, and development partners.
We're going to tell people how important it is to have good and affordable housing.
The event featured paper presentation focusing human development compass. Our speakers gave their remarks.
As we navigate the complexities of rapid urbanization, climate change, and social inequality,
the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners and Association of Women Town Planners become ever more crucial.
It is a call to serve, to be sent, directed, and used by everybody. You do not become a lord by this election. You only become a servant.
I want to congratulate Mr. President that he's lucky to have this team. I'm confident that the new national chairman and her team will give the best to Nigerians.
In Abuja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, says convicted kidnappers deserve capital punishment for abducting school children and attacking the future of the country. She made the call at a meeting with the APC progressive women who visited her at the villa to mark this year's International Women's Day. State House correspondent Adini Taiwo has more.
March 8 every year represents global convergence of thoughts on women, celebrating their strides and highlighting their challenges. On this occasion, the recent kidnapping of over 200 students in Kaduna and Borno State is the burning issue as Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu hosts APC progressive women to mark this year's International Women's Day.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough, she says, as she called on state governors and the National Assembly to act fast and join effort to end the menace.
That once we take hold of them, they deserve capital punishment. Why don't they take people their size? Why are they torturing our children? What they are doing is trying to kill our future. And the state governors should do something. And the lawmakers, especially the lawmakers of each state.
While acknowledging the effort of women in shaping the future of the nation, the First Lady called for a shift in national mindset that sees women empowerment as a strategy to build the future of the nation, rather than as an act of charity.
Therefore, my charge to you all is to be each other's keeper. Let us all come together, bond and love one another. Each of you should commit to pull a sister up, one at a time.
For the APC Progressive Women, the theme for the 2024 celebration, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, resonates with the Renewed Hope initiative of the First Lady, which has empowered many women in the country.
Aspect that cannot be overlooked is the First Lady's unwavering commitment and responsiveness to the yearning of Nigerian women, senior citizens and children.
To complement our efforts and drive women inclusion in politics, the APC Progressive Women is launching a project 774 Explode as a platform to identify, train and encourage young women who have political aspirations. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the reconstitution of the Board of Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company, NELMCO. Francis Form reports that the president also reappoints the Director General of the Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service.
The reconstitution of the board of the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company, NELMCO, is with a modification to the company's board structure, which empowers Office of the Minister of Power to take over the board chairmanship from the Office of the Minister of Finance. In a statement, Minister of Power is to serve as board chairman, while Minister of Finance is the vice chairman. Members of the board include Directors General of Debt Management Office and Bureau of Public Enterprises. Others are Managing Director and CEO NELMCO, Mojoinoluwa Bekalu Thomas, Executive Director Asset Management, Joseph Asuku Bello, and Executive Director Corporate Services, Hassan Yahya, all of NELMCO with 5 years term, while Abdullahi Mahmoud Gaya and Professor Ayonfemi Ayondele will serve as non-executive directors of the board for a period of 3 years. Similarly, President Bola Tinubu approved the reappointment of Dr. Vincent Isegbe as Director General, Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service, to serve for another 5-year term in office. Francis from NTA News.
Let's also tell you that President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that his administration is committed to addressing myriads of challenges confronting the country. This was when the Council of Former Permanent Secretaries confirmed on him with the award of the first Grand Patron as part of activities marking its week. Kenneth Nani reports.
President Tinubu, represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, is happy with the decision of the Council for the award conferred on him, describing it as a demonstration of a collective determination by tested technocrats and professionals to engage meaningfully with government. In his message, he urges Nigerians, both serving and retired, to work together to overcome the current socio-economic challenges and create a better future for all. President Tinubu explains that the recent approval by the Federal Executive Council to implement the Oronsaya report underscores the political will of his administration to reform, reshape, and strengthen the public service for effective service delivery.
When fully implemented, it is expected that the site's efficiency, effectiveness will justify the enormous resources deployed for the delivery of quality public goods and services to Nigerians.
He promises that his administration will also tap into the wealth of knowledge and experience of the council members garnered over the years to offer workable solutions for the good of the country.
In achieving all of this, the wise council support and objectivity of corporates through constant assessment of national issues and the solution proffered shall be relied upon.
The national chairman of COFEX, Mahmoud Yayale Ahmed, appreciates President Bola Tinubu for accepting their invitation and expresses commitment by the members towards nation building. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The federal government has inaugurated a committee on the implementation of the recommendations on the review of reports and white papers on the restructuring and rationalization of parastatals, agencies and commissions. Again, Kenneth Nanim reports that the committee, inaugurated by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, on behalf of President Bola Tinubu, is given a 12-week deadline to submit its reports.
On the review of reports and white papers.
The implementation of the white papers on the report, which would involve the major relocation, subsuming or scrapping of some parastatals, agencies and commissions, the SGF says is aimed at reducing cost of governance and streamlining efficiency across the governance value chain.
Whatever we are doing should be to enhance the decision already taken by the Federal Executive Council.
Members of the committee include Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieso, Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reform, Dr. Dasuki Ibrahim Arabi, Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters. Both Senate and House of Representatives are also members. Principal Secretary to the President, Hakim Muri Ogola, and the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Richard Felangwa, are also members.
I want us to be very, very committed to the timeline so that we don't overstep this schedule.
The general guidelines of the committee include to review current mandates to understand the existing functions, responsibilities and objectives outlined in the mandates of the agencies, and also to identify redundancies and overlaps or conflicting objectives among the mandates of different organizational units. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Unity of purpose has been identified as a panacea in tackling the economic, political and other socio-cultural challenges facing the country. This was the submission of experts at a methodology workshop on elite consensus projects organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Though
No doubt, Nigeria is facing economic and security challenges that needs urgent attention from all and sundry. This summit brought together media practitioners, civil society organizations, politicians, academia, and seasoned administrators, among others, from the 6 geopolitical zones. They described challenges facing the country as huge but surmountable.
If we can generate that kind of consensus, then it will be easier regardless of which party is in power, regardless of who is in power. There will be consistency in terms of how national issues are addressed, particularly by our leaders in the governance sphere.
There is no problem or challenge that without a solution. There must be a solution. The way the country is going, we must all put our, thinking cap to address this issue.
Others believe that putting the country first and agreeing on areas of priority and strategies will fix the country and chart the course for meaningful development and progress. It is expected at the end of the elite consensus project, workable recommendations will be brought forward as the National Summit coincides with the commemoration of Nigeria's return to democracy, May 29, 2024. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Osun State is witnessing a turnaround of infrastructural development as the state government opened more avenue to revive the state road network. In this report, Kayode Oladoshu takes a look at the impact of these efforts in boosting the economic growth of the state.
One essential infrastructure that attracts speedy development is good road network, which tends to ease the challenges of road transportation. This is one sector that the Osun State government has given priority to through rehabilitation and expansion of many roads within the state. As effective road network eases the pressure on the road and boosts economy on a large scale, this development is what the residents acknowledge as a great potential that will enhance gross domestic product of the state.
To be able to bring about development in this part of the community, and the people here, strangers will be able to come in order to settle with the development they can see so far in this community.
All this on our economy, they will go smoothly if we finish these projects.
As work progresses on these roads, it is evident that when completed, it will enhance economic growth of the state. In Oshogbo, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
Now let's join Kayode Oladoshu in Ede to give us an update on the state of roads that we just saw in the report. Kayode, it's good to see you. What's unique about this new roads that we're seeing in Osun State?
It's a known fact that good road networks are not only crucial for economic development and growth. Also, it provides essential social benefits like access to employment, health, and education services. All these make road infrastructure a vital public asset that must be maintained and expanded to stimulate economic and social development. This is what Osun State government is doing presently by opening up new roads, constructing and expanding existing ones to be in tandem with the development the state is witnessing. The state government last year launched a 100 billion naira infrastructural plan for the state, which began in November. And under the plan, the governor intends to rehabilitate 45 roads, at least 1 kilometer in each of the 30 model local governments in the state. And when we look at it, it's a welcome development. Now, dualization of roads in some major cities are going on. And right now, I'm at the Akoda in Ede. This road used to be a single road, but due to high vehicular movement, it is now being dualized to ease traffic and reduce road accidents. Construction is also going on in Oshogbo too, with 2 flyovers in the town. All these projects are expected to be completed within 1 year. With my interaction with certain stakeholders in the state about this project, majority of them are optimistic that aside from enhancing the trade and commerce that this road will bring about, the construction is expected to boost the confidence of motoring and then non-motoring public, you know, especially conveyance of farm produce from rural to urban. And
no, just go ahead and yeah, go ahead.
Agrarian state. So at this moment, no doubt about it, Ayodeji, it will bring about economic development.
The Oladoshu in Edede giving us an update on the construction of road in Osun State to boost economic activities around the state. We'd like to thank you for joining us on Nationwide.
All right, sir.
All right, time now to go for a break. When we return, Nationwide continues. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. Lagos is our first port on Nationwide, and Adeola will be our guide. It's good to see you again, Adeola.
Good to see you too, Ayodeji. Top management staff of the Federal Ministry of Justice have been urged to play active roles in delivering the 8 areas of focus and priority of President Tinubu's administration. This came to the fore at a retreat in Lagos. Balaji Akim reports that the theme of the retreat is enhancing systems and structures in the Federal Ministry of Justice for effective justice sector service delivery.
The need for Federal Ministry of Justice to critically review its operation strategies to enable it meet the aspirations of Nigerians and also key into President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda brought together management staff of the ministry to chart a new course on effective service delivery. Identifying the role played by justice system in the well-being of the society, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu charged participants to carefully examine the current system, identify the lapses, and be committed to make reforms that will enhance delivery of justice to Nigerians.
In our pursuit of enhanced system and structures, let us be cognizant of the need for a continuous evaluation and adaptation. The dynamic nature of our society demands that our justice system should evolve and meeting emerging challenges that we see as a country from time to time.
Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, explained that the role of the ministry is critical to the nation's development, thereby making continuous review of its operations in line with present-day reality necessary.
Everybody to go back to his beat, look at what is expected of him, and start work immediately. Because, like I said, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one that is in a hurry to achieve, to make sure that people get value for the vote, for the mandate that they have given him.
The retreat provided an avenue for participants to share their experiences on challenges and best practices for enhancing system and structure to support the justice sector, as well as review and validate the draft strategic plan of the ministry 2023 to 2027, which has been developed and structured in a manner to meet the key expectations of the country. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Death is inevitable, but there are individuals many would have wished lived forever. This best describes the case of the Chief Executive Officer, Access Bank PLC, Herbert Wigwe, his wife Chizoba, and his first son Chizi, whose lives were cut short in an helicopter crash in the United States. Diana Jala reports that more tributes continue to pour in from close associates from different walks of life at a combined service of songs held in their honor at the Redeemed Christian Church of God Resurrection Parish in Lagos.
It was a moment of sober reflection as family, friends, colleagues, captains of industry, as well as former Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Governor Godwin Obaseki joined church members at Region 11 of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Lagos, for a combined service of songs in honor of the late 3 members of the Wigwe's family.
Many are grieving the loss of a true friend, a hope bringer,
and a man for whom the future always seemed so imminent.
It's really unfortunate that we had to lose these great Nigerians in this way, at this time, at the prime of their lives.
We pray for the repose of their souls. May the Almighty God grant their souls rest in peace.
As Nigerians continue to mourn the deaths of the three vibrant personalities, Chief Executive Officer, Access Bank PLC, Herbert Wigwe, Chizoba Doreen, and his son Chizi, officiating Minister Pastor Charles Kandi, admonished those and Nigerians to live impactful life worthy of emulation and remain focused on God. Described as a go-getter who dedicated his life to the service of God and humanity, touched many lives positively. The story was not different on the side of his late wife, and as well as his 29-year-old son, Chizi.
He never wanted to see anybody in any kind of problem or trouble. He always extended himself to see what he could do to help them.
He was the person that pioneered the contribution of over 5-point-something billion to support those that were in need during the COVID era. And we cannot forget it in a hurry.
The burial rites continues in his hometown, Isioko, Ikwere local government areas of Rivers State, Port Harcourt. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And we're done from Lagos. It's back to Ayodeji in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thanks so much, Adiola, in our Lagos Network Center. To prevent cervical cancer in women, the Niger State Ministry of Primary Health Care has introduced the human papillomavirus vaccine in its routine immunization system. This step up in the healthcare delivery was part of activities of the flag-off of the 2024 National Immunization Plus Days by the wife of the state's governor, Fatima Muhammad Bago, at the palace of Emir of Mina. Fatima Usman reports.
The flag-off of the National Immunization Plus Days is set aside to strengthen the fight and protect children from polio and other childhood preventable diseases. The event also witnessed distribution of 5,000 mama kits to primary and secondary healthcare centers, disbursement of ready-to-use therapeutic food kitting of chiefs agents and data tools, allocation of motorcycles to selected local government areas to enable the vaccines reach the hinterlands. The wife of the Niger State Governor, Fatima Muhammad Bago, who flagged off the initiative, said the state government has undertaken a total overhaul of the health sector to ensure effective healthcare delivery and immunization services to all eligible children.
I call on all mothers and caregivers to take their words for immunization and vaccines which are provided for you for free. They are all safe and available to protect our children against deadly diseases.
HPV vaccine is principally targeted at women, usually between the age of 9 to 45 years, that is women of childbearing age. The essence is to prevent cervical cancer.
Representatives of development partners commended the state on data coverage and success in immunization processes, urging parents to always bring their children for vaccination and other routine immunizations. In Mina, I'm Fatima Usman, NTA News.
From Mina, Niger State, let's cross over now to Kaduna Network Center, where Umar Ajingi will be giving us the next set of reports. Over to you, Umar.
For joining us in Kaduna. The Nigerian Customs Service has purchased more than 164 housing units in Kaduna State for onward distribution to its officers. The Controller General, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, who handed over the keys of these houses to the beneficiaries, said the gesture is a deliberate plan to ensure the personnel acquire their individual homes in a convenient manner while still in active service. The report.
This visit to Kaduna
by the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service is one that will bring comfort and relief to officers and men of the command who have been grappling with housing challenges. This inspection to ascertain the quality of 2-bedroom bungalows and 3-bedroom duplexes acquired from a private developer is part of the last formalities to get them accommodation.
The exercise is a demonstration of our resolve to cater to the welfare of officers, whether they are serving or retired. It is notable that this initiative is no doubt in agreement and supportive of the efforts of the President, Commander-in-Chief of Nigerian Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at making affordable housing available to Nigerians.
Before leaving Kaduna, the Controller General stopped by at Mando, where the headquarters of the Federal Operations Unit Zombie Command is under construction. NTA News. And that's our contribution from Kaduna. Back to Abuja for continuation of the news.
Omar there in our Kaduna Network Center. Skills development for efficient service delivery is the focus of a capacity-building workshop organized by the National Directorate of Employment in Kefi, Nasarawa State. The training is designed to equip participants with the latest modules in skills acquisition to tackle the rates of unemployment among Nigerian youth. Muhammad Awalu reports.
These personnel of National Directorate of Employment, NDE, gathered in this hall for common goals. These are updating their operational knowledge and skills on the core mandates of the Directorate, which centers on designing and implementing programs that will address unemployment in the country. Director General, National Directorate of Employment, Abubakar Pikpo, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given the Directorate platform to key into his administration renewed hub agenda so that unemployment will be drastically reduced.
Our foot soldiers today, we have put them together in order to step down these directions that has been given to us by Mr. President. We want them to go back home, bearing in mind that we have an assignment before us, and that is to improve on the activities of the NDE.
All the staff of that organization is supposed to have the capacity to drive the vision and the mission of the organization towards achieving that objective of creating jobs.
Participants acknowledge the depth of the new ideas acquired, which have broadened their horizon on ethical practice and operations.
Going to give us tools, techniques, and we'll have a proper direction.
NDE is known to give skill, power, and ability to Nigerians in general.
When people are positively engaged, optimal performance is guaranteed. From Kefi, Muhammad Awalu, NTA News.
Comfort is next from our Enugu Network Center on Nationwide. Over to you, Comfort.
Participants at the Southeast Zonal Public Hearing on new minimum wage held in Enugu have applauded President Bola Tinubu for his commitment at ensuring a better welfare package for Nigerian workers, even as they want to speedy approval and implementation of the amount proposed. Chinenye has the details.
The last minimum wage review was done in 2019, 5 years ago. And in line with the minimum wage law, which stipulates that minimum wage be reviewed every 5 years, another review is due. And that is why President Tinubu set up a tripartite committee to negotiate on a new minimum wage. And the committee organized this zonal public hearing in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, is the chairman of the Southeast Zonal Public Hearing, but he is here represented.
It beholds on you to look at it, whether the 30,000 naira minimum wage of 2019 is still tenable now. Look at the frequency, whether it should remain 5 years or less.
In their presentations, Leaders of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC Southeast, are proposing 447,000 naira as the new minimum wage per month, while the leaders of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC Southeast, are proposing 540,000 naira as the new minimum wage per month.
Back in 2023, we were wishing that 2024 could come faster, because we could not continue to bear the level of suffering, particularly among workers in Nigeria. In 2019, when we had the 30,000 minimum wage, a pint of garri was 280 naira. That of rice was about 450. Today, a liter of oil is now 750 to 800 naira.
The organized labor also wants the national minimum wage to be reviewed every 2 years, as against every 5 years, stipulated in the minimum wage law. In Enugu, Chinenwoye, NTA News.
That's a package from here. Ladidi Musa is in Maiduguri to take it up from here. Over to you, Ladidi.
Welcome to Maiduguri. Good to have you join us. Strengthening collaborative communication and engagement capabilities of humanitarian aid respondents and media organizations is the focus of a two-day stakeholders dialogue organized by BBC Media Action for senior managers from Borno and Adamawa State who make decisions around the approach to advance collaborative humanitarian communication between the media and humanitarian respondents. The training is taking place in Maiduguri. Maimuna Garba reports.
The stakeholders' engagement focused on the need to enhance humanitarian needs of people affected by crisis, and the media to also tilted its reportage on providing essential lifeline communication for communities affected by humanitarian emergencies.
The essence of the project is how can we communicate to people who have been affected by humanitarian crisis.
The coming together of media managers and humanitarian actors in the Northeast region will no doubt enhance the life-saving approach needed during any humanitarian emergencies, thus providing information and emotional support, as well as giving voice to people in affected communities and strengthening aid efforts, among others.
Activities and government programs and policies are being carried out.
Through these interactions, most news managers has learned a better way to manage issues during the time of emergencies.
Taking cognizance of our situation here in Maiduguri is still relevant. It really is something very positive.
Professor Enjuma Gambor of Mass Communication Department, University of Maiduguri, who dwelt on the state of humanitarian communication in the Northeast, the media perspective emphasized the importance of humanitarian communication in time of crisis, describing humanitarian communicator as a change agent. Other presentations centered on why communicate with the crisis-affected population, among others. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Maiduguri. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja.
Thanks, Ladidina, Maiduguri Network Center. And that's Nationwide. I'd like to thank you for watching. Happy International Women's Day once again. I'm Ayodeji. Makinde, I'm a big he for she. This is NTA. On behalf of the entire production crew, good evening.